time it is. Dixon and Vining on Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com, 8:06 our time on the 20th of July of 2026. It was on this date 57 years ago that Neil Armstrong took one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. And also found Alice Cramden. That was fun.
Alice.
To the moon, Alice, to the moon. Well, remember when we used to find domestic violence funny? That was just hilarious, wasn't it?
Not anymore, nope.
Jackie Gleason was constantly threatening to hit his wife and, knock her into next week and whatever. It was like, that's hilarious. It's so funny. No.
Not so funny
anymore.
No.
Not so much. Not so much. Let's see. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and we'll get to it. But Mr. Bugs is first on our agenda. Mr. Bugs is going to come out and take care of your bug situation. If you have pests in the house, they can kill those. And then, of course, they can lay down the barrier to keep the ones on the outside outside. It is drain fly season, friends. That is. Here's what happens. There is a residue gunk that builds up down below the drain. The water goes down the drain, the other stuff goes down the drain, but there's this residue. It could be soap scum, it could be, parts of dirt and whatnot, and it sort of builds up in the drain pipe, and that's where the flies come from. They lay eggs there, and then they sort of live in that gunk, and then they come out when you least expect it, and the next thing you know, your house is full of flies. Ugh. Mr. Bugs has got a way to treat that, and they'll take care of it for you, and they'll do it right, and they'll do it professionally, not some over-the-counter product that's not really going to work very well. That's just one of the many things they do. Mosquito reduction, of course, termite bonding as well, and small rodent control. Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com, or statewide at 844-MRBUGGS. Mr. Bugs, they know what bugs you.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, if you hadn't heard, the FDA says Taylor Farms' Cyclospora lettuce test was a false positive. Turns out it's not pregnant after all. Cyclospora, the stuff that gives you that explosive diarrhea. They originally tested this lettuce from Taylor Farms. Taylor Farms has had problems in the past. They, in fact, were the ones who provided McDonald's with the fresh onions that were causing E. coli. At one point, McDonald's stopped using the fresh onions for a while until that whole scare went away. So maybe that's why they immediately checked Taylor Farms. Taylor Farms has got, they've got farms in Mexico and some in California as well. And they were just providing Taco Bell with all of this shredded lettuce. And it just did not make sense to me that everybody who was sick had eaten a Taco Bell, because it seems like that would be the one thing that would stand out. That you just ask a few questions and you find out, and eventually you're going to connect the dots and figure it out. But apparently everybody who's got sick didn't eat at Taco Bell, because it wasn't the Taylor Farms lettuce that was causing the problem. They tested it again, and then they tested it a third time, and they keep getting negatives now. So there was one false positive and several several correct negatives that are showing that it's not this, it is something else, and they're not sure still exactly where it's from. So
be careful. 34 states and more than 1,600 people sickened. We have people here in Alabama, North Alabama, South Alabama, that have been affected by this. So, if you just want to be super careful, maybe just, avoid purchasing lettuce right now, or make sure it's, a local farm or somebody that grows lettuce, and maybe it's you. You're good to go then. But until we can really get a handle on what's happening with this, kind of, this is something you certainly don't want. No deaths yet with this, but a lot of people hospitalized because of it. It's a pretty bad stomach issue.
Sad but true. 4 American service members have been killed in recent Iranian retaliatory attacks in the Middle East. 3 U.S. troops died during a ballistic missile and drone strike on American military facilities in Jordan. A 4th soldier killed in Iraq while handling unexploded bombs from a downed Iranian drone, trying to disarm the situation. hate to see it, but, this is war. People die. Sad but true. Certainly we have taken our share of Iranian lives while this goes on. We would really like to see this end sooner rather than later. And I don't know how much more Iran is going to be able to take as we just finished our 9th night of pounding. And we're now doing it during the day as well because we're able to, because we have so weakened their air defenses that we are fearlessly flying over them in the noonday sun and dropping ordnance on a regular basis now.
Yeah, and the two of those soldiers now have been identified. First Lieutenant Tyler James Freehan, and he's 25 years old, from Hawaii, and Private Isabella Gonzalez, she's 19 years old, of Texas. So again, they've identified two soldiers that have passed away. Thoughts and prayers for those families.
Of course.
Again, we've got to do what we need to do over there to take care of this, so that they don't have a nuclear weapon and we can get those ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep. That has got to happen, and it is time that we bring Iran to its knees, finish this thing off, and get the world economy back on track where it needs to be, because this is very disruptive. If you watched the World Cup yesterday, you were among the largest television audience in history as Spain and Argentina met up. Bigger than the Super Bowl, bigger than almost any spectacle that you'll find on television, simply because it is worldwide and people are fascinated with us all over the place. Spain ends up winning in extra time, 1-0. They played to what they call a 0-0 tie at the end of regulation.
Yeah. It was a good game. It was an exciting game to watch.
I'll tell you what was best about it was that the RAV was not used even once. Nobody had to do like a double check or relook at anything, even though Argentina did lose a member, got red carded and got booted. Not sure how necessary that was. As I was watching it, it seemed to me like this guy, he had momentum and there's only so much you can do, and he ended up shoving this guy down. He got the red card, not reviewable, and that's okay. What really is important is that the refs didn't decide the game. You know,
they kind of tried to stay out of it.
They did a pretty good job of staying out of it, and as Spain was monstrous. In fact, the entire second half of the game and almost all of the extra time was spent on Argentina's side of the field. Argentina could not catch a break. They couldn't move forward. And while I was watching it, I couldn't help but think, Argentina reminded me of 2010 Auburn. They a pretty good team, some solid players, and one Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And that's all it took to win the national championship.
Messi, yeah.
Spain, on the other hand, reminded me of Alabama under Nick Saban, which was lots of solid players. Everybody knew their job. Everybody did their job. And that's why Argentina got exactly one shot on goal in the entire match and the extra time.
Well, and the other way to think about it is think about how good this team came together.
Yeah.
They played 8 matches in this World Cup. 7 games were shutouts.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I mean, it really is astounding. You talk about defense winning championships, but these guys and the ball control.
Amazing.
I was just watching this and I was thinking, I am glad America didn't make it this far, because we would have been embarrassed by these guys.
Well, and I do want to say this. It is amazing the number of stadiums across this country that had thousands and thousands of people in it, the number of people that came from all over the world to be a part of this, and to know that Kash Patel, the FBI, our law enforcement across all of these cities kept this safe.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have a single issue at any one of these, anything major.
Well, except
And
for
thank
Boston running out
goodness.
of beer and the United States
Yeah.
running out of ranch dressing.
Well, if you want to call that a major faux pas, okay. But overall, this was about as perfect as it
They
gets.
had to turn away a lot of planes that were going into airspace.
10 yesterday.
Yeah,
With the F-16s escorting them out of the area.
I think a lot
It's
of them
like,
were just
what?
not aware.
No, that's what they
Didn't
said.
know what was going on, and that was okay. But they stopped a ton of drones as well. A whole bunch of people wanted to fly their drones, or you're like, guys,
no, you can't do
if
that.
you'd like your drone shot down, that's the way to do it, because we don't know that you're
Yeah, we're not playing around anymore. We know what drones could mean.
absolutely. Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158. Everybody I recommend these guys to comes back to me and says, you were right, Richard. They were exactly what you said. They did it right. They did it fast. They did it safely. They chopped the thing up. They did it for less than other estimates that I got. Just really amazing the work that Alabama Tree Pros can do. They can trim your tree up, and they can, in some cases, save your tree, which is the most cost-effective thing for you, really. Look, tree work is going to be expensive. It's going to be expensive for a number of reasons. A, you have to bring a bunch of people because it's a big tree. B, the insurance is quite costly. All of this comes into play. Now, like I say, Alabama Tree Pros, less than the other guys. I got quotes of as much as $7,000 to take this one tree down. Alabama Tree Pros came in at well less than half that, which was very impressive. Did a good job, did exactly what I wanted them to do, and they did it very quickly. And I just can't say enough good things about them. I recommend them highly, not just to you, but to anybody I run across who needs tree work. 308-4158 or online at alabamatreepros.com. Make them your number one tree company. When I saw REO Speedwagon, I think this was the first song they played. It was Styx
I do remember that.
and REO Speedwagon at the Tuscaloosa Mercedes-Benz Amphitheater.
It's a good kind of rocker to kick off with.
It was not a bad one. I was surprised they played, the big hit,
I saw him in 1980.
Yeah. Oh, so that was before the big hit. Yeah, this was but they
Can't
played
Fight
that
This
When they were
Feeling?
just
I can't
taking
fight this
off.
feeling.
Yeah.
Played it like third. I'm like, that seems like a finisher to me. Like what? Okay, whatever. But here's the thing. I'd already seen Styx, and Styx put on such a good show that REO was just a letdown. I left as they were playing I Can't Fight This Feeling. I was just like, nope, concert's over. They should have put these guys on first. That would have been a better move. REO warming up for Styx, because Styx puts on a hell of a show. I mean, it's a rock concert. It's what you want a rock concert to be.
Is that one of those situations where they were kind of co-headlining and trading off?
Probably. They never should have done it that way. They should have kept REO as the opening act throughout the entire tour. 8:23 with Dixon. I wasn't the only one, by the way. Dr. Andy was there, and he was like, yeah, that was a letdown. That
I saw Dr. Andy Saturday morning.
is that right?
Took Lucy for a little annual.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. How was he?
Great.
Good.
Andy's great. I love him to death.
Yeah.
And he asked all about you, and I said, come get on the show sometime. He said, just invite me.
Oh, I've invited him.
I know.
He's always like,
he's
I
busy,
can't
though.
make it that day.
He's got a lot on
I'm
his
like,
plate.
Just take the day off work, man. Come on.
That's what I did.
Get
I was
in
like-
here.
I said, what are you doing working on a Saturday? He goes, oh, I do this a few times out of the month, except for football season.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to do that. He's
I
got
was
the
like-
weirdest schedule. He works Wednesday to Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so he works Wednesday, Thursday,
And
Friday,
then he has like
Saturday.
6 days off or something.
Then Sunday he's off because they're closed. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then he's off for the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Like,
Monday,
man,
and
you
Tuesday.
got the life.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
One week at the beach, 1 week back Birmingham working. You know
can
what I'm
make
saying?
that schedule work. I'm all about. Can we do
Yeah.
that here?
Well,
Okay, fine.
have you got a fill-in?
Skippy.
Skippy is your fill-in.
Skippy's going to step in for me. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I like it. All right, it's a new work week. If you maybe over the weekend, maybe late last week, we're thinking that you would like to be in a different automobile, that the current vehicle that you have just isn't getting it done, or maybe you're just tired of it, or maybe this has happened to you, and it one time happened to me. I think one car only. I purchased a vehicle, and I was in it maybe about 5-6 weeks, and I finally said, you got to be real with yourself. You hate this car. And I did. I hated the car, and I was like, all right, let's get rid of it. Let's sell it. If you are to a point where you need to get rid of a vehicle and get into something else, let Craig at Birmingham Broker sell your vehicle for you. Truck, car, SUV, classic vehicle. What in the world is going on? Maybe you've had a loved one that passed away, and you're there with the vehicle sitting in your driveway, and you really don't want it in the driveway anymore. All right, Craig can help you. BHAMBroker.com is the website. It's very simple. He handles every aspect of getting that car sold and making sure that you hang on to as much equity as possible. And again, there is a fine line there of putting it on the market at the right price, so you're not giving it away. You're trying to get that equity, but you also want it to sell quickly. That's what he's so good about. Go see Craig, Birmingham Broker, 2224 4th Avenue South, and their website, you know it, bhambroker.com.
A texter says, sounds like it is Taylor Farms and someone is covering their corporate butts, saying it's not them, but then Taylor Farms says, we're still going to comply, even though it's definitely not us. It seems odd. Companies usually don't fall all over themselves to throw money away, or are we meant to believe they care so much they're just doing the right thing? Here's what's going on.
It's called lawsuits that would be coming if you didn't do it.
Well, Dave says this, I'm taking my Taylor Farms salad mix back to Sam's Club. Don't know if I can trust it. I'm personally not buying any salad or ordering anything that has lettuce in it right now. That 1% chance is too much for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
if I
it's-
know it's out there,
Yeah.
even 1%, I'm like, probably not.
I would be the lucky SOB that, hits the
Somehow.
1%. Like
Right.
I can't win the lottery, but I can win this lottery,
Well,
you know?
and to what we found out overnight. This morning, we're hearing a false positive. And we're like, so they don't really have a complete grasp on
Nope.
where this thing is coming from. Maybe it's Taylor Farm plus something. Who knows?
So even those who are 100% in the clear and have maybe done their own testing and are able to say with certainty, no, this is not us. This, we don't have any cyclosporum, any of that stuff with us, but they're still going to be suffering as a result of this. So
Yeah.
you do the best thing you possibly can, which is pull in your horns, take your product off the shelf for a little while, let this thing blow over. Once it's done, you put it back out. You take the hit. It's business. No one's happy about it, but you're not going to sell that lettuce no matter what, because you, me, Steve, Dave, nobody wants to buy the lettuce right now. Nobody wants, restaurants are saying we're not. Taco
And it
Bell,
is a little unfair if it's one maker like
Yeah.
Taylor Farms, and you got all of these other lettuce companies that
sure.
they're all taking the hit too.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is really a shame.
It's just, it comes with the territory, There's only so much you can do, and you just kind of have to accept it as this is what's happening right now. We got to ride this out. Fortunately, these guys are pretty big. Don't we have like a salad company that's just around the corner from us over here, seems to me. I can't remember what it is, but it's one of the bagged salad people, Mrs. whatever. And, I'm sure they're suffering along with everybody else. Unless you are growing your stuff locally, like in your backyard,
Yeah, the local growers right now are probably benefiting from this.
everybody is going to pay the price for
Yeah.
this. So you do what you have to do, and you take your product off the shelves, even though it's not your fault, and you ride it out. The economy is bad for Somali fraudsters, says one texter. Don't know who it is. Let's see. Tony, once again, when is this war with Iran over oil and gas going to be over? This is so ridiculous, Tony. This is so ridiculous. This war over oil and gas. This is not a war over oil and gas. The United States is the largest producer of oil and gasoline in the world. We have more than we can use, and we are selling it to other countries now. We're not at war with Iran over oil and gas. That's such an 80s mindset, like when we were in Iraq, people were like, this is all about oil. It's like, really? Because I don't see the price of oil going down. I don't see the price of a gallon of gas dropping at all. How many more Iraqis do you have to kill to get this down below $2? Can we do that, please? No, we didn't take any oil out of there. We didn't take any gas out of there. We're not doing it with Iran either. This is a war over exactly one thing, keeping Iran from having a nuclear weapon. And thus far, it seems to be working.
Yeah, I think we've taken care of it, at least for a while, maybe a decade, maybe a couple of decades.
Rob says, Americans believe the Super Bowl is the biggest event in the world. There were more eyes on the World Cup final yesterday than the top 10 Super Bowls combined, 1.8 billion. Nearly one of every 4 people in the world were watching. Wow. Think about that. 1 out of every 4 people.
Can you really compare the two? NFL, very popular in America.
I can tell
Soccer, popular across the world.
The NFL usually has a better halftime show because that was just awful.
Richard didn't care for it at all.
I did not care
We
for
are the world.
it.
We are the children.
Oh, come on, up with people.
Come on now. Justin Bieber's song, didn't that just tug at your heartstrings?
No. 836, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Who is that?
Group called Restless Heart.
Restless Heart. Sounds like they're, I would say, inspired by Dr. Hook and the Traveling Medicine Show. It just has a real feel. They had some
Could see
real
that.
catchy hooks and whatnot. Turn on the YouTube cameras, will you please? 836 with Dixon and Vining. Vining is out of the room momentarily, but she'll be back. A Memphis restaurant owner is defending his decision to deny service to National Guard members working as part of the Memphis Safe Task Force. Miles Tamboli, who owns Tamboli's Pasta and Pizza, confirmed reports of his decision Wednesday under state and federal law. It is legal for private businesses to refuse service based on customers' occupations. Civil Rights Act does, however, prohibit the refusal of service based on other factors like race, religion, disability, or age. Tamboli said that he has received responses from the community filled with hatred and vitriol. Said his decision to refuse service was not directed at the individual Guard members, but at the National Guard's presence as a whole in Memphis. You mean the group of people that are making Memphis significantly safer? He said the National Guard has made Memphis harder to live in. I love this country and I love this city, and that is exactly why I made this call, Tamboli said. What the task force has actually done is made the city harder to live in. He referenced the recent killing of Tyron Johnson, who was shot and killed by National Guard troops, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Since Tamboli's decision to refuse service to the National Guard members, the business has faced backlash, calls for a boycott, but the restaurant has also seen an influx of support from the community, including from District Attorney Steve Mulroy, who commented, "Great place," on a Tuesday post featuring a menu item. Customers at Tamboli's who spoke with the local news station WMC said backing businesses that reflect their values matters. I would like to support them because they're standing up to the unlawful occupation of Memphis, I would say, said one customer. This is crazy. Look, Eric, my keyboard player, or perhaps I'm his drummer, I'm not sure, but he loves Memphis, loves the history of Memphis, the rock and roll kind of getting its roots there. Back in the day, you had Sun Records, of course, and Sam Phillips, that's the guy, yeah. Sam Phillips, and you also had, a couple of big disc jockeys there that got rock and roll rolling on the radio, which was a pretty big deal. And the place is just steeped in that history. I've been there exactly one time, but there are literally bars where B.B. King played before he was anybody, you know? I mean, he was an unknown name, an unknown quantity, and he was up on stage playing, and you can actually go sit in that bar and look at the very stage where he was and listen to another act play on that stage today, which is really cool. But he said he watched it go downhill. He watched Memphis just go downhill, visit after visit, because he'd go, I don't know, every 6 months or so, it seemed like he was popping into Memphis. And he said the last visit he made, he was like, never going back. It was like, done. He goes, feces on the
Never
sidewalk
good.
on Beale Street, boarded up windows. People are so afraid because there's riots like almost every night, marching, and, thugs have just basically taken over. And the city has let them. And so what happens is Donald Trump says, I'll send the National Guard over if you guys want me to. And the mayor says, hell yeah, please do. I wish you would. And so the mayor is complicit in this. They send the National Guard in. They have a little more federal law enforcement there as well. And the murder rate has dropped to less than half of what it was before the National Guard showed up. Carjackings have dropped precipitously. Burglary, assault, sexual assault, you name it. Every single one of these crime stats has been cut by 40% or more since the National Guard showed up in Memphis. And this jackass doesn't want to serve them? Well, here's the thing. Everybody gets to do what they want with their own business. I firmly believe in that. and he gets to decide he doesn't want National Guard members there, and he's not going to feed them. Other people will make decisions about going to Tomboli's based upon that decision. They may or may not. There may be people who go there, as we just read, specifically because he is stopping the National Guard. But it's ridiculous to me, and we've seen so many of these reports, like CNN went into Memphis shortly after, I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks after the National Guard got there, and was doing man-on-the-street interviews and said, how do you feel about this? Wonderful. I can walk down the street for the first time. It's been forever. I wouldn't let my kids leave the house. It was like we would go straight to the car, drive to the bus stop. They would hop right on the bus and go to school. And then we would do the same thing in reverse when they got home, because they were so scared to just be out on the street in Memphis because it was a dangerous place to be. And now these people are finally relaxing. They're enjoying their city parks. There's no longer feces and needles. There's no longer riots every night on Beale Street, and people don't have to board up their windows anymore. And this jackass is, the National Guard has made us less safe. No, the stats would say the exact opposite.
Well, and again, I think the market will probably take care of this for the most part. I mean, there'll still be people that go, they don't really care that he feels this way about the National Guard, but there's others that say, you know what, I appreciate what the National Guard has done, not only for this country, but for this particular city, and we're going to maybe not go there. We'll go someplace else to eat. It'll work itself out.
It will. I don't think he's going to end up closing for lack of business. I really don't. I think that he's going to get to make this political statement. He'll get about his 10 minutes of fame. I'm talking about him right now. Mm-hmm. But again, I won't go to Memphis either. I still won't go. Well, I might go to Washington, D.C., but I'm not going to go to
I'm not going to New York. I'm not.
Oh, no.
Memphis is a little way off.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got some other options until some of these areas get cleaned up, but D.C. is a whole lot better.
D.C. is significantly better thanks to the work of our president and, as a guy who was hell-bent on making sure that our place looked good for the 250th celebration, and then we got rid of the tent cities and so on and so forth. It was just the right thing to do. And now they're doing it in Memphis, and again, the right thing to do. The crime stats are slashed by a lot, and I don't understand how anybody could look at the National Guard and say, you're making us less safe.
Well,
Because they shot one guy who was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing? Hello? Stop and think for a second here, buddy. Yeah, that's it's bound to happen. It's funny because I was watching Bill Maher the other day, on video. I don't have
time just to sit and watch him.
Oh, well, I don't have HBO
give
either.
Give me the cliff notes on that.
Yeah. But he was talking to a guy who was, the cops are just out there shooting black people left and right. And he, Maher is surgeon-like sometimes in his approach to these things. He says, really, how many people did police shoot last year? Oh, I don't know. You don't know.
Then why would you make a statement like that?
He says, you're talking out your ass. You're saying stuff you don't even know. You can't back this up. He says, about 1,000 people. Police shoot about 1,000 people every year. How many of them are black? I don't know. 400. How many of them are unarmed? I don't know. About 6. He's like, you're sitting here talking about, you're making these bold, sweeping claims. You don't know the numbers. How can you make statements like this if you don't know the numbers?
That's right.
I think that's what's going on with Mr. Tomboli over here.
Well, the same thing is when you start that narrative, it will spread like wildfire.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got a whole community that believes that, like you just made that statement that he said, that police are after shooting black people. And you're like, that couldn't be farther from the truth.
I just read a litany of statements that Ben Crump made that were later disproven, proven to be wrong, we'll say. He did it here. He came when we had the Homewood shooting, the officer shooting a kid. And Ben Crump came
again,
in. Yeah.
Had no idea, wasn't from this community, didn't have all of the details that he needed to start making those.
He was shot in the back while he was running away. He never had a gun. There was no gun, blah, blah, blah.
Wrong.
None of that was correct, and he never corrected it. He was the guy who was responsible for a hands up, don't shoot, when it came to Ferguson.
He's just following in the footsteps of where's the money. That's the money trail, and he's making the money.
Well, it foments unrest, and it's not helping, and that's disturbing because you act like you want to help, you claim you want to help, and instead you're continuing to perpetuate a narrative that simply is not true.
Sounds a little like the Democratic Party.
I know. Tom Boley's doing the same thing.
Yes, he is.
846 with Dixon and Vining, 545-9950 if you'd like to drop us a line. 8:51. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. You know, GLP-1s are all the rage. Everybody's talking about them. A lot of people are using them. I'll tell you something. My sister came to town several years ago for a work thing that she was involved in. They were having meetings at the Winfrey, and she said it'd be a shame if we didn't get together, so we met up at a now closed place, the Bonefish Grill.
I love that restaurant.
That
I
was
need
so
it
good.
closed.
As she was walking away, as we parted ways, I just looked at her and I thought, I give her about 2 years at that weight. I mean, she was huge, absolutely huge. Then when I saw her at my mom's memorial last year, a little over a year ago, she had taken off a great deal of weight. Well, recently she put a picture on Facebook and I was like, whoa, she's never been this thin. Never been this thin. GLP-1s can be wonderful if you know what you're doing, if you're well supervised, if you've got somebody who's working with you and adjusting the medication accordingly. And that is exactly what the Alabama Men's Clinic will do for you if you're interested in using GLP-1s to take off the weight. You know, as guys, we get a little older, the paunch, it gets harder to lose. Stuff that you used to do that you're like, well, this always used to work in the past, and now it doesn't. I don't know what's going on. This is where the GLP-1 can really be helpful. But it needs to be well supervised. It needs to be under the right conditions, and they can make that happen for you. They also, of course, will help you with a low T. That's another thing that can help you an awful lot when it comes to losing weight, is making sure that your testosterone level is where it needs to be. And then if you're struggling with ED, they've got answers for that as well, a number of different solutions. Even hair loss at the Alabama Men's Clinic. They do it all. AlabamaMen'sClinic.com, or call them at 598-7000 to make an appointment. After all, men is their middle name. It's right there in the middle. Alabama Men's Clinic. It's right there. 598-7000, AlabamaMen'sClinic.com online. Jeff says Taylor Farms is betting that outbreak continues after they pull their product so they can say, see, it wasn't us. Maybe so. Maybe so. Patrick says, I ate a salad Saturday at Longhorn, forgot all about it until yesterday morning, popped up on the knee. I don't know what that is, but I haven't been sick so far. Good for you.
Maybe
Popped
on
up
the news.
On the news, maybe. Could have been.
This is
literally
part of our job now, is to figure out what the word is.
Guess voice to text.
On the
Sometimes it's my very fat thumbs. I will say that. I've sent texts and looked at them later and just went like, oh,
Sorry
you
about
should have
that.
pre-read that.
Yep. Sorry about
Let's see. I'm sure these companies have insurance policies, says Jerry, covering product recalls. I bet they'll be fine. Probably. Sean says, so you're saying that Bad Bunny was better than the World Cup halftime show? I have no idea. I didn't watch Bad Bunny. I'm just saying, as a whole, mostly your NFL halftime shows are better than what we saw here. It was Madonna, right?
You try to make it Americana. At least for some Super Bowls, it's been that way. A representation of what America really is. And again, some years we're a little off the mark.
Right.
Bad Bunny. But other times we nail it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
This, to me, I think they were trying to do a unifying thing, because it was much more than just America. It was all these other countries, and that's kind of what they were going for.
Shakira's hips will pretty much unify anybody and everybody.
And they don't lie.
They do not lie. They're not liars. Let's see here. Kyle says, no, I'm sorry. Where was I? Anthony says, just went under freeway in Ensley. The top bridge had a dozen people or so with signs saying, stop ICE, and they're killing. I blew the horn, rolled down my window, gave them the "You're number one" sign. Mm-hmm.
Go get a job. There's not time for that. My goodness.
Is ICE killing people in Alabama?
No.
You know why?
Why are y'all doing that?
We actually hand our people over to ICE, when they're done with their prison
not a big
sentences.
problem in Alabama.
No, it really isn't. Nor should it be anywhere else, to be honest with you. Let's see. There's a great disorder under heaven. The situation is excellent, Chairman Mao. That is still the Marxist playbook in a nutshell. The left has completely embraced this philosophy. Yes, great disorder under heaven. That's from Tom. Let's see. I use voice to text oil the thyme, says Jim.
OIL.
Yeah, thyme as in the spice.
Parsley,
Very nice.
sage, rosemary,
All
and
the time.
Exactly.
Very funny, Jim.
You
That
guys,
was cute.
You guys are hilarious. Hilarious. So good. All right. Yeah, and Wilson drops this line. Taylor has been cleared, false positive. We've been talking about that all morning, Wilson. You're not paying attention? Were you not listening?
Well, they can't listen all the time.
Yeah, yes, they can.
Can they?
That's why we have the app.
All right.
So you can listen
all the time,
You can
Wilson.
carry it with you, and you should never stop
I mean,
listening.
You know, we say it's rude not to pay attention to the person when you're checking out of, say a grocery store.
Yeah.
Put down your phone, pay attention, and you're telling Wilson that he can't pay attention to the cashier. He's got to pay attention to us.
Yeah, that's correct.
All 4 hours, every minute,
Every minute
of every
of it.
second.
Yeah.
Wilson, do you hear what he's saying?
You better hear what I'm saying, because
You hear what
if
he's
you're not,
saying?
it means you're not paying attention.
That's right. Well, he's checking
and
out.
I'm telling you, you have to pay attention.
He's busy checking out. He don't want to be rude to the checker.
Well, I mean, what kind of relationship do you have to have with the cashier?
You can need to be polite.
Polite, yes, that's
Say,
fine.
hey, how's your day going?
Oh, I'm not going to do that.
You don't do that?
I
You
don't-
have a
I
guy-
don't wanna know
And
how
sometimes
their
they
day is
ask me,
going.
like, oh, you're getting this. What are you using that for?
Uh-huh.
And then I'll sit
I'm
there
like-
and give her the whole recipe.
I usually say none of your beeswax. How about this?
It's none of
How
your
about you
business.
check out the groceries and
Don't
I'll
be asking me.
carry them out to the car.
Well, they're just trying to start
Do
a
that.
conversation
I
with
don't
you.
want to start a conversation.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't
We're-
shop there.
we're not
shopping is a pleasure because that's
buddies.
what they do.
We're not pals,
You're
okay?
not?
No. This
And
is
that's, you know what I love is when they're like, oh, I didn't know this is a buy one, get one free. Well, now you do.
Mhm.
Get on down the aisle, girl.
No, she's working.
I know
don't
when
want
she's
her.
done.
Yeah, I don't.
When she's done, go get you a buy one, get one.
Last time I was at a Publix buying anything of real import was during COVID. And the cashier had she had a mask on and the most amazing eyes I'd ever seen. I mean, the fact that she had a mask on just absolutely drew your attention to the eyes.
Because that's all you could see.
That's all you could see. I said, you've got the most amazing eyes. Has anybody ever told you that? She says, all the time. And I thought, she goes, especially, since COVID started, I thought, so under the mask, you're an uggo. Let's face it. It's probably what's going on here. This is why nobody really.
Did you say uggo?
Uggo. You heard me. Uggo. She should
You
work.
know, she might have just as beautiful a smile as her eyes are beautiful.
She should work at
and
the.
you went uggo.
At the
You went
Piggly
uggo
Wiggly.
route. Did you really do
She
that?
worked at the Piggly Wiggly where the girls are.
Why did you think so negatively, Richard? She
Ugly
could be
wuggly.
absolutely gorgeous.
Could be. Probably not.
You went
though.
uggo.
Yeah.
Have you
no.
met your co-host?
The mask really covered a multitude of sins. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
pretty
surprised
sure.
you didn't ask her to pull her mask down so you could see her whole face.
I wouldn't do that. I mean,
I'm shocked you didn't.
it was COVID time.
You went straight to uggo.
Pretty sure she was ugly.
Jeez.